Hello friends, welcome to my this brand new channel which is CorelDraw Macros, and on this channel I will tell you everything about macro which is used in CorelDraw, like how to install a macro, how to create a macro, and how a macro is used to speed up our work. So first of all, what a macro is. A macro is just here you can see on the screen I have two files. One is called calendarwizard.gms and another one is called fileconverter.gms. So GMS is the file which is the extension of any macro used in CorelDraw. These two macros are the default macros which is provided by CorelDraw by Corel Corporation, which can be used by you in any versions. Yani any version you have installed in your computer, whether it is CorelDraw 6, 7 or 2019, every piece of software have this both macros. So first of all, first thing I will tell you how to install a macro so that you can use in your software. For this, let me have open desktop, and on desktop I have a software, which actually a macro called crop marks bleed bar page.gms. This is on, I have saved it on desktop. So first of all I will tell you how you can install this macro. So there are two ways to install a macro. First one is just open the macro manager, which you can access from from tools, then macros, then macro manager. As soon as you click on macro manager, this panel will open, and here you can install any macro. How? Just click on load, and then to the location where you have saved your macro. Like in my case I have on desktop. I click on desktop where with file crop marks underscore bleed underscore bar underscore page.gms. I click on it and click on open. As soon as I click on open, you can see this panel will update with another macro called crop marks. Okay, but this just clicking on crop marks will not work, as you have to expand this piece chunk, the chunk of code to the till to the last, where in the main window you can see there are five types of sections, like crop marks, bounding rectangle with outline, bounding rectangle, bounding guides, and bounding guides with outline. So how this works? So any macro, like I have created a rectangle here, and while keeping this rectangle selected, I click on crop marks, double click, okay, then draw. Here this is automatically created a crop marks around the rectangle. Now I can delete this rectangle and the crop marks remain at the same position where it was created. This is the power of macro. You can create any type of macro in CorelDraw to make your work smooth. Like if I have to do this work manually, I have to create this line first, and then this registration mark, and then this duplicate and copy, and then I have to do a lot of many processes to achieve this task. But using macro, I can just clicking on macro, I have my job done. So this is the first way to install a macro. How a macro can be installed, and then it can be used by us. So the next question is, what is the another way to install a macro, and why should I use that method? First of all, if you are using a macro manager panel to install a macro, then once you close this software, like CorelDraw 6, I am closing this. If I close it right now without saving, and next reopen it, the macro I have added will disappear. Means it will not remain at its position, and I have to again load this piece of macro in macro manager section. As you can see right now, just new blank document, and you can see only the three macros, the three default sections, calendar wizard and file converter, which are the default one loaded by given by the CorelDraw Corporation. So how I can add any macro in the macro manager so that it remains always whenever I reopen or close my software. So to achieve that task, you need to open Windows Explorer. Just I'm opening by pressing Windows E, then clicking on drive C or whatever drive where you have installed your Windows, then program files. After that you have to go to Corel folder, and here you can see all the software versions of software you have installed. Like in my case, I have installed CorelDraw 6, CorelDraw 7 and 2019. So in any software you want to add macro, just click on the that software folder. I just like me, I am clicking on the CorelDraw 6. Here I have to click on draw and then the folder GMS, where you can locate the both the files I have shown you earlier. Now just copy and paste that piece of software you want to install, means that piece of macro you want to install, and paste it there in the folder. Continue. But just pasting on here will not load your macro in the panel. You have to restart your software. Like in my case, I am restarting it. I have closed that software and दोबारा reopening it. Just wait to load the software, and once the software loaded, you can see crop marks panel. जो macro was there, it will show you here again like this. In my case, you can see the crop marks macro. So in this video I have shown you how you can install a macro manager software, a macro in CorelDraw, and in the next video I will explain you everything about crop marks, how you can use crop marks to simplify your works. You don't need to create a crop marks for every page, or how you can add crop marks to your design so that you can send it to the printer for printing, and where you can download this crop marks section, crop marks macro for your so that you can speed up your work easily. Thank you. Wait for my next video, which is based on crop marks macro